Noble Great Vehicle Sūtra, Not Forsaking the Buddha. Homage to all Buddhas and bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time. The Blessed One was on Vulture Peak Mountain in Rajgir, together with a great Sangha of 1,250 monks and 80,000 bodhisattvas. At that time, the bodhisattva great being Ashoka was present in the assembly, as were the bodhisattva great being Vanquisher of the darkness of sorrow, the bodhisattva great being Light of wisdom, the bodhisattva great being Roaring thundercloud from Brahma, the bodhisattva great being Glorious blooming flower of precious qualities, the bodhisattva great being born from the lion's virtues and moving with a thunder roar, the bodhisattva great being Renowned brilliant light, the bodhisattva great being aiming for accomplishment of limitless wisdom array, the bodhisattva great being Renowned blooming flower of limitless precious qualities, and the bodhisattva great being Intelligent light of insight displaying power. These 10 bodhisattva great beings who were present in the assembly had exerted themselves for 7 years with the aim of attaining Dharani. However, although 7 years had passed, they had not even attained mental equipoise, let alone Dharani. For 7 years they had avoided dullness and sleep, and exerted themselves while sitting and walking. They had exerted themselves in relinquishing all thoughts of desire. Nevertheless, they had not achieved their goal and had not attained Dharani, and thus, feeling discouraged, they had offered back their precepts and lapsed. All of them, having thus assented to the shortcomings of householder life, had simply turned their backs on the teaching. At that time, King Ajatashatru was also present in the assembly. The Blessed One had already dispelled the king's regrets. With his regrets dispelled, for 7 days the king had engaged in generosity and pardoned all prisoners. After having engaged in generosity for 7 days, the king had returned to the Blessed One, together with 70 million other beings, to listen to the Dharma. The 10 noble sons who had assented to the shortcomings of householder life and turned their backs on the teaching had also come to the assembly. At this point, the bodhisattva great being Undaunted also joined the assembly. He had attained Dharani. For countless eons he had possessed the acceptance of phenomena that is consistent with reality, and had attained the acceptance that phenomena are non-arising. He was endowed with various forms of eloquence. He was expert in accomplishing all gateways to wisdom and the Dharma, and in order to explain the Dharma, he was skilled concerning beings' mindsets, intentions, and interests. The bodhisattva great being Undaunted rose from his seat, draped his shawl over one shoulder, knelt on his right knee, and bowed with joined palms toward the Blessed One. He then said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, these 10 noble sons exerted themselves for 7 years with the aim of attaining Dharani, yet they did not accomplish their goal, and so they have left the teaching and profess to having taken up the householder life. This being so, Blessed One, I beseech you to please bestow upon these noble sons an instruction that will enable them to swiftly attain wisdom." The Blessed One replied to the bodhisattva great being Undaunted, "Noble son, these individuals have not heard the Dharma discourse called Not Forsaking the Buddha, and so they have ended up forsaking the Buddha. That is why these noble sons have failed to swiftly develop in their understanding." The bodhisattva great being Undaunted then address the following verses to the Blessed One. Illuminating Dharma King, Son of humans, I request you to teach the conduct that bodhisattvas engage in. Please explain that conduct. Your intelligence is immeasurable and exalted. Unimpeded Buddha, your 10 powers are unmatched. You are free from the 3 realms of existence and beyond conceptual constructs. Buddha, you have taught the stainless conduct of bodhisattvas. Master of immeasurable wisdom, I ask you. Dispeller of doubts, I ask you. Matchless Blessed One, I ask you. What is the proper conduct of bodhisattvas? Victor, tamer of demons, well gone one, you liberate beings from all the afflictions. You compassionately tame the afflictions and show the path to awakening. Please explain that noble teaching. Your teaching is excellent in terms of its clarity, source, and relevance. Tirelessly, you eliminate existence and overcome its states. Excellent mendicant, your perfect speech dispels all doubts. Victorious, well-gone one, you teach all the modes of stainless conduct. Over hundreds of past lives, you accrued virtuous qualities. You diligently dedicated all for the benefit and happiness of beings. For long, you relinquished jewels, elephants, and horses, and the company of women and children as well. Delighting in patience and discipline, you ardently practiced the virtues of discipline. You joyfully pursued intelligence and took on austerities and hardships. In the pursuit of good qualities, you endured hundreds of sufferings. Victor, there is no doubt that you have attained all this. You are skilled in conduct and have relinquished all doubts. You are free of the defects of the 3 stains and all faults. You have entered all existences. Protector, please explain the proper conduct of supreme awakening. The Blessed One then addressed the Bodhisattva, Great Being, Undaunted. Noble Son, none of these 10 bodhisattvas has in fact forsaken the Buddha. The Bodhisattva Great Being then asked, Blessed One, what do you mean by saying that they have not forsaken the Buddha? The Blessed One replied, Noble Son, in a bygone age, 30 eons ago, in a world called Mirage, a thus gone one named Roar of Vision appeared. In the period after this thus gone one had passed into parinirvana, these 10 noble sons were born as the sons of householders who were like great shala trees. At that time, these 10 noble sons commissioned the building of 500 monasteries. In each of those monasteries, 1,000 monks resided. Noble son, at that time there was a Dharma teacher named Pratibhanakuta, who had attained Dharani and was teaching the Dharma. Noble son, the Dharma teacher Pratibhanakuta would accomplish the eloquence of 5,000 Buddhas while seated on the Dharma seat, as 800 million gods applied themselves diligently in worshipping his body. Through just one of his Dharma discourses, 70,000 beings would be established in irreversible progress toward unexcelled and perfect awakening, and 10,000 beings would attain the fruition of stream enterer. Noble son, at that time there was a king named Chandradatta. He had great respect for the Dharma, and so he and 500 women venerated that Dharma teacher with song and music. He scattered many types of precious flowers over that monk, anointed him with sandalwood ointment, and swathed him in 500 brocades. Furthermore, the king venerated him with every type of delightful service. In this way, he served that Dharma teacher with perfect offerings for 7 days. However, those sons of householders accused that monk of flawed discipline. As that action ripened, they were born in the hells for 90,000 years. Then, for 500 consecutive lifetimes, they were born in the human realm as Sandas, as barbarians, and into families with wrong views. After that, for 600 lifetimes, they were born blind and mute. Then, for 700 lifetimes, they went forth and remained ordained for the rest of their lives, but they died without having attained Dharani. That is the karmic obscuration veiling these noble sons. Noble son, you should therefore trust this and understand it. Having heard this Dharma discourse, you should never speak of a Dharma teacher having flawed discipline, even if you witness it in person, let alone hear word of it. Noble son, if one person were to pluck out the eyes of all beings, and another were to take a disparaging view of a Dharma teacher, the latter would commit an act of even greater negativity than the former. If one person were to bind all beings in fetters, and another were to turn his back on meeting a Dharma teacher, the unmeritorious act committed by the former would be nowhere near even 100th part of the unmeritorious act committed by the latter. It would be nowhere near even 1,000th or a 100,000th part. No number, fraction, quantity, analogy, or comparison would come close. Why is that? Because whoever denigrates a Dharma teacher denigrates the Buddha. If you wish to honor the Buddha, you should honor a Dharma teacher. If you wish to worship the Buddha, you should worship a Dharma teacher. If you wish to pay homage to the Buddha, you should pay homage to a Dharma teacher. Why is that? It is because the state of omniscience arises from the bodhisattvas, and the blessed Buddhas arise from the bodhisattvas. Since that takes place on the basis of the bodhisattvas' arousing of the mind of awakening, one should not say that bodhisattvas are afflicted beings who indulge in pleasures. One should not say that they ever fail to observe pure conduct. Although they are absorbed in the formless absorptions, one should not say that they enter the formless states. Why not? Because bodhisattvas do not take rebirth under the sway of afflictions. Rather, bodhisattvas take rebirth through the power of aspirations. They are beyond all childish behavior. If you wanted to point out the afflictions of a bodhisattva, it would be no different from wanting to point out the physical form of space. Noble son, as an analogy, the chief of all Nagas, the Naga king Anavapta, is counted as one of the Nagas. Nevertheless, he is not afflicted by the 3 troubles of Nagas. What are the 3 ways in which he is not afflicted? Hot sand does not fall on his head, he is never infested with vermin, and he is not subject to the terror of Garudas. Noble son, these 3 troubles of the Nagas do not afflict Anavapta. Noble son, in the same way, even though bodhisattva great beings may engage in frolicking and all manner of joys, it must be said that they are not overcome by the desire, affliction, or suffering within the 3 existences. Noble son, as another analogy, there is a type of animal known as fisher that moves about in the water and looks into the water, but does not die there. Noble son, likewise, bodhisattva great beings may move about in cyclic existence, but while engaging in the conduct of childish beings, they in fact pursue the conduct of wisdom. Having taken up the Dharma, they do not become confused. They live alongside childish beings, but they do not experience the sufferings of the three existences. Therefore, bodhisattva great beings will protect themselves. The Blessed One then spoke the following verses. If someone wishes to worship the well-gone one and pay homage to him, they should worship the well-gone one's offspring here. This is the supreme act of worshipping the victors. All my clothes, my alms bowl, sitting mat, bedding, and walkway, I give all of them to those striving for awakening. All the Buddhas, those supreme humans, have surely arisen from such beings. So worship them in the very same way as you would worship the Buddhas. These are the guardians and adepts. They give sight to those who are blind, they show the path to those who are lost, and guide them to the deathless state. Even if beings were to joyfully give them all types of wealth in a constant stream, that would not be enough to match their beginning to rely on the mind of awakening. The Bodhisattva Great Being, Undaunted, then addressed the Blessed One. Blessed One, is there an instruction through which these bodhisattvas can purify their karmic obscuration? The Blessed One replied, Yes, there is. Undaunted, these noble sons should go forth as monks and recite these Dharani mantra words. Syad yathedam acha achavati anavile akleshe akrite anayuhe ave ara parajite bhavatu angama utajnava prakshipe nirgate ugrahe huhume travale sade same samade yoti nayo parishodhi. Noble sons or daughters should recite these Dharani mantra words. For 7 days they should train in the absorption of recalling the Buddhas in a way that is free from grasping, free from settling, free from form, free from concepts, free from sensory experience, free from diversion, free from action, free from contamination, free from indifference, free from the 5 aggregates, and free from impatience. If they do that, they will encounter 1,000 Buddhas in the 10 directions, and they will be compelled to confess their faults. Accordingly, these noble sons went forth as monks and recited those secret mantra words. For 7 days, free from grasping and the rest, they exerted themselves by training in the absorption of recalling the Buddhas. Thereby they came to see the 1,000 Buddhas and confess their karmic obscuration. At that very point, these noble sons attained the Dharani called Gateway to the Vision that Accomplishes All. They reduced their time in cyclic existence by 30 eons, and were established in irreversible progress toward unexcelled and perfect awakening. Undaunted, the King Chandradata, who had worshipped that Dharma teacher, is now the thus gone, worthy, and perfect Buddha Amitayus. At that time he was the King Chandradata. The Dharma teacher, Pratibhanakuta, is now the thus gone, worthy, and perfect Buddha Akshobhya. At that time he was the Dharma teacher, Pratibhanakuta. The 10 sons of householders, like great sala trees, are now these noble sons. At that time, they were the 10 sons of householders like great shala trees, who accused the Dharma teacher Pratibhanakuta of having flawed discipline. Therefore, noble son, no matter how bodhisattvas may be living, do not view them as mistaken, even at the cost of your life. Why not? Because, noble son, there are 4 qualities that purify the awakening of bodhisattvas. What are those 4 qualities? Training in emptiness, being free of animosity toward anyone, always gathering what is beneficial for bodhisattvas, and authentically manifesting the gift of the Dharma without having thoughts of material gain. Noble son, these 4 qualities purify the awakening of bodhisattva great beings. The Blessed One then expressed these same points in the following verses. The victors have taught that interest in emptiness is the first path by which bodhisattvas are purified. Those who remain constantly heedful of this will attain awakening and illuminate the world. Always being sincere toward all beings, never wishing to speak down to anyone, and relinquishing pride and being patient with others, this is the second path of purification. To give all pleasing and untainted objects to those who strive for supreme awakening, without wishing for anything in return, this is the third path to supreme awakening. When a compassionate person gives the Dharma constantly and correctly to others without hopes of material gain, and keeps a loving heart with pure intention, this is the fourth path of purification by the learned. Noble son, furthermore, bodhisattva great beings who apply themselves to Dharani should stay in an isolated place. They should go to listen to the Dharma. They should wear clean clothes. They should stay on their own. They should observe the 4 types of conduct. They should have the wish and inclination to practice various forms of generosity toward Dharma teachers. They should venerate the 3 jewels. They should not let others influence them. They should never feel discouraged. They should cultivate diligence constantly, be unwavering, never part from the recollection of the Buddhas, train thoroughly in non-observation and the lack of characteristics, and practice what they preach. They should faithfully supplicate the Buddhas. They should become skilled in confession, rejoicing, and dedication. They should not behave imprudently. They should live in places that are free of danger, and where the teachers and masters are present. They should uphold what they have been taught. They should apply these teachings without becoming weary. When the Blessed One gave this Dharma discourse, 30,000 beings who had not previously given rise to the mind of awakening now gave rise to the mind of awakening. 5,000 beings gained the pure vision of Dharma that is dust-free and stainless with regard to all phenomena. 30,000 bodhisattvas gained the acceptance that phenomena are non-arising. The Blessed One then said, "Hearing this Dharma discourse is something that is cherished dearly by bodhisattva great beings. If one person, for as many eons as there are grains of sand in the Ganges River, were to fill the trichiliocosm with the 7 precious substances and present them as gifts to the 3 jewels, while another person were to listen to this Dharma discourse, the latter will have made the best choice. If one person for 1,000 eons were to engage in the 5 perfections, excluding the perfection of insight, while another person were to listen to this Dharma discourse, the latter will have made the best choice. If one person were to serve, venerate, respect, and worship 1,000 Buddhas in the morning, at noon, and in the evening, while another were to listen to this Dharma discourse, the latter will have made the best choice. Noble sons, it is for these reasons that I have entrusted you with this Dharma discourse, so that you may preserve it, carry it, read it aloud, teach it, and copy it. You must preserve this teaching of mine, even at the cost of life and limb. When the Blessed One had said this, the bodhisattva Undaunted, the other bodhisattvas, the monks, and the entire retinue, as well as the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised what the Blessed One had said. This concludes the Noble Great Vehicle Sūtra, Not Forsaking the Buddha.